we've all joined here together again to call for the freedom of Julian Assange. He famously set up Wikileaks, which revealed endless truths about wrongdoing, government corruption and war crimes committed all around the world by all sorts of different nations. The organisation Wikileaks that Julian Assange set up is an incredible benefit to humanity. Julian Assange stated that if wars can be started through lies, then peace can begin when we hear the truth. That is what Wikileaks stands for, and what is happening now, what is happening here in Belmarsh, is this truth-telling journalist is being locked away in solitary confinement. Our judicial system is too scared either to deport him to America with extradition, where he'll be tortured essentially for a 175-year sentence in solitary confinement. They won't do that because they know the British people won't accept it. But they also lack the courage and spine to say that this is an injustice and that he should be free. Julian Assange is an incredibly brave man who set up a system so that we can know the truth, so that we can have genuine democracy around the world, and we can negotiate to solve world issues that are important for us to deal with, such as armaments, wars. Without knowing the truth, how can anyone make a sensible democratic decision when they cast their votes?
Hooray! Hear, hear!
It's important that freedom of the press is maintained in the UK, in Australia, in the United States, in Canada, and all around the rest of the world. Really what's happening is here is Julian Assange, who is an excellent, brave journalist, is being punished. He's being punished to make him an example. People in positions of very powerful authority, they don't want the truth getting out. They've got a very comfy life, very wealthy life, that they can carry on through telling lies to get people to do things that otherwise, if they knew the truth, would be stopped immediately. We do not need endless war, endless persecution of people, violence around the world. That can be stopped by having Wikileaks and other media companies telling the truth, explaining what's really going on. Then we can get a consensus of opinion, we can have a peaceful, productive world where people live in it happily. It's essential that we get Julian Assange released. He's really being punished inside, tortured, as an example to the rest of the press around the world that telling the truth will no longer be tolerated. Now we're not here and we're not going to accept that's going to take place. We stand for truth and honesty, fairness in the press, decent reporting and exposure of government corruption and lies. That's what we want to see, and it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the British people and to the Australian people and people all around the world that this is being allowed to be done. A journalist is being allowed to be persecuted in Belmarsh prison today. It's a disgrace that it's being considered that he could be extradited to the United States of America to face 175 years in solitary confinement, and the judges who heard the appeal case all the way back in October are too scared to reveal their decision. They say they're making up their minds. What kind of minds do they have if it takes a month and a half to come to any kind of decision? And unfortunately, I can predict that when they come to the decision, it will be a cowardly one. They will try and kick the can further down the road, and unfortunately, we have a big fight ahead of us. But we're going to win this. We're going to be on the right side of history. The people who keep Julian Assange in prison are going to be firmly on the wrong side of the prism. And I'm sure there are people working in HMP Belmarsh today that understand that they're observing an injustice. And I hope they can be compassionate and kind to Julian Assange. We need him to be kept safe and healthy in Belmarsh prison. When he leaves Belmarsh prison, when inevitably we get the man freed, we need him in good health, because he needs to be a shining example of what happens if you're brave enough to stand up to power and authority that's unjust, that you can win. We can win this fight. People in Britain, people in Europe, people across the world, we can unite, and we're going to get Julian Assange free. And I hope soon he's allowed to get married to Stella, and I hope that's allowed to take place before the new year. And I wish that brings some happiness to both of them, having to undergone this inhumane ordeal, and the idea that you could be in a situation where you don't even know what the sentence is. There are no actual charges behind the reason Julian Assange is sat inside Belmarsh prison. He's just awaiting a decision with no charges against him at the moment. You know, no proper legitimate reason for keeping him in solitary confinement. It is a disgrace. It's a real disgrace to British justice, and I hope we're able to overturn this situation and get Julian Assange set free. So let's have a quick chant. Free! Free!
Julian Assange!
Free! Free!
Julian Assange!
Free! Free!
Julian Assange!
Free! Free!
Julian Assange!
Jail the war criminals!
Free Julian Assange!